Welcome to the West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. Please be seated. This is a very fitting place for the ceremony today. The class of 2020 was the last class to be in the old West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School when many of them completed their 7th grade year. Today we sit at the site of the old Middle Senior High School. Would you all please rise and join me in a moment of silence to recognize those brave men and women who are serving our country, those who have fallen, and for your own personal thoughts. Please remain standing as the national anthem will be performed by Senior Christina Herman, and then remain standing for the pledge to the flag to be led by Student Council President Casimir Ryan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. Superintendent Oakley, members of the school committee, Board of Selectmen, Senator Timilty, Representative Dubois, faculty, family, friends, and most of all, a graduating class of 2020, I'd like to welcome you all to this ceremony. I'm proud to introduce the class officers and other distinguished members of the class of 2020. Would these students please stand when I call your name? President Isabella Diaz-Lamb. Vice President James Piesco. Secretary Jack Shea. Treasurer Nicholas Souza. Students wearing gold cords and tassels have been inducted into the National Honor Society. This represents excellence in academic performance. Special recognition to officers Emma Radlinsky, Jack DeLuca, Ryan Sullivan, and Maggie McCafferty. Would all members of the National Honor Society please stand for recognition? The wearing of yellow and red cords are to recognize induction into the Spanish Honor Society. Special recognition to officers Anaya Jordan, Kiara Luau, Emma Radlinsky, and James Piesco. Would all Spanish Honor Society members please stand for recognition? The wearing of red, white, and blue cords are to recognize induction to the French Honor Society. Special recognition officers Amelie Valnegra, Madison Marchetti, Megan McCafferty, Matthew Wright, Gabriel Levine. Would all French Honor Society members please stand for recognition? Students wearing pink cords have been inducted into the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Special recognition officers Nicole Chula, Christina Herman, and James Piesco. Would all members of Tri-M please stand for recognition? The wearing of green and black cords is to recognize induction to the Global Citizenship Program. Would Anaya Jordan and Nicholas Souza please stand for recognition? I would like to thank our senior class advisors, Mr. McMurray and Ms. Silva. Thank you to Mrs. Page, Mrs. DiLorenzo, Mrs. McMillan, and Mrs. Myers for all their hard work in setting up the ceremony and all senior-related activities. Mrs. Mishley should be commended for working with our student speakers. Thank you to Mr. Smith and crew for taping tonight's ceremony, and Mr. Collins and Mrs. Edgar for the sound setup. Mrs. Hamlin and her crew should be commended for all their hard work in setting up today's ceremony. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce President of the Class of 2020, Isabella Diaz-Lamb.
Good evening, Dr. Oakley, Mr. Bodwell, Mrs. Page, members of the school committee, faculty, friends, family, and most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2020. I am honored today to be speaking on behalf of the class of 2020 as class president. Although I have known about this speech for almost a year now, I will admit I've had trouble thinking of what I wanted to say. I don't view this speech as an opportunity to speak about our time together or how great our years have been, but I view this speech as an opportunity to speak to the graduates about something of importance, as unfortunately, we most likely won't see the whole class together again after today. With this in mind, I decided to speak to you all, the class of 2020, about something I hope to accomplish and something that I hope many of you will also want to accomplish. Before we get into that, I'd like to start out with a quote that is the whole reason behind my goal. Jane Elliott once said, "To sit back and do nothing is to cooperate with the oppressor." Jane Elliott was a third-grade teacher in Riceville, Iowa, who is most known for her Blue Eyes, Brown Eyes experiment, conducted the day after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. In her experiment, Elliott separated the children into two groups, Blue Eyes and Brown Eyes. The Brown Eyes group was in the majority, and they were told that they were intelligent and superior. Elliott wrapped blue armbands around the other students. The Blue Eyes group was in the minority and told by Elliott that they were inferior. And they also felt targeted by the armbands that distinguished their blue eyes. By the end of the experiment, the Brown Eyes group had begun to ignore the Blue Eyes group, taunting them with slurs such as blue eyes, and even refused to play at recess with them. With this, Elliott had then proven that prejudice is taught and learned, and that you cannot be born with it. After this experience, Elliott gained media fame and soon went on to be an anti-racism activist, teaching at schools and universities across the country. Jane Elliott conducted the experiment in 1968, approximately 52 years ago. Back then, racism was the biggest form of prejudice. 52 years later, we see all types of prejudice, yet we tend to lose sight of them when it isn't affecting ourselves. Right now, this country is more divided than unified by prejudices such as sexism, homophobia, transphobia, racism, social class, political parties, and more. The point is, not everyone will experience each of these prejudices, but that doesn't mean you can't learn and understand them. It may feel uncomfortable, awkward, and painful to listen, but this step that everyone wants to skip is crucial to sparking change. We are taught history for a reason, and is to not repeat it. Unknowingly, our everyday lives are our own history, and if we do not learn and understand it, we will continue to repeat it. For Jane Elliott, she saw the pain blacks felt around the country as the leader of their civil rights movement was assassinated. With this pain, she took it upon herself to learn, listen, and teach others to help prevent future pain. This goes to show that anyone, even a third-grade teacher from a small town, even smaller than ours, can fight against the prejudices within society, whether or not they themselves are affected. The act of making change seems difficult, and people believe they must have something greater to offer to make a difference. But the truth is, most of the time it is the small acts that have a greater lasting effect. Whether it be donating to a foundation, signing a petition, protesting, volunteering, or simply standing up for one another, you can make a difference. Although efforts such as these do contribute to change, not everyone is able to donate their time or money. And for this reason, I'm urging you all to contribute with even smaller efforts that in the long run will prove as great as the others. Acts as small as helping a stranger, speaking up when there is injustice, and spreading kindness will last a lifetime. Even though right now we are all about to be hitting a major milestone, it will be the last one that we achieve together. Some of us may be attending college next year, heading straight into the workforce, or joining the armed forces. But what will always join us together is being West Brdigewater Middle Senior High School graduates. I hope that in years to come, you all will remember this speech and remind yourselves of the world around you. Our generation has faced lots of hardship. We were born into a post-9/11 world, finished our high school career with a global pandemic, and have seen countless acts of terror and hatred. But thanks to these experiences, we have seen the world at its worst and now have the ability to rebuild the world for the better. It is my hope that at least one of you sitting in front of me today will listen to this speech and commit yourself to becoming the positive change needed in the world. Just one of you can create a chain of kindness, thus reforming and impacting lives or other lives in ways you never expected. So please help me accomplish this goal in changing the world for the better by taking part in these efforts, whether they're big or small. Thank you to Dr. Oakley for the wonderful 14 years you have served as our superintendent, along with Mr. Bodwell, Mrs. Page, the faculty, and the entire West Brdigewater community. Without you all, none of us could be here today. Thank you to my class for giving me the honor of being your class president. I wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. Madam President, out.
Thank you, Isabella. Next up will be academic leader Joshua Poland.
Good evening, Dr. Oakley, Mr. Bodwell, Mrs. Page, members of the school committee, faculty, family and friends, and most importantly, the class of 2020. 2:05 p.m. Friday, March 13th, 2020. This was the last time we walked out of the high school building, past the cafeteria, the gym, the main office, out the 2 sets of doors to the parking lot, where we drove off. It was too soon. At first, it was a welcome vacation, making up for the snow days we didn't have enough of. But little did we know that this virus would come to impact our own community and continue to get worse. By the time school had been canceled for the rest of the year, many of us missed it. We missed seeing our friends in the halls every day, chatting with our teachers, and even the comfort of having a daily routine. Of course, as everyone is probably tired of hearing by now, the extended closure meant that we missed out on all the normal end of senior year activities. Spirit Week, Senior Ball, Grad Walk, Senior Cookout, and the Scholarship Night. That being said, the administration, our officers, our parents, and even our town have all stepped in to make the end of this year special for us. Though it may not be the same as all the years before, the thought and effort put in by everyone is incredible. From the posts on Facebook to the personally delivered signs and the car parade, we truly feel recognized and honored, and I would like to thank everyone for that on the behalf of our class. Despite sitting here at graduation, it ironically feels as if high school hasn't ended. Senior traditions are meant to bring about a conclusion to this chapter, a celebration of accomplishments, and a way to say goodbye. Though I know some of us will see each other again, many of us will not, as we all head in different directions. We cannot allow this pandemic to cause our 2020 vision to become blurred by wishes of what could have been or missed experiences. Although our high school journey ended unexpectedly, the next one is not going to wait, and we need to get packing. As Oprah Winfrey once said, the great courageous act that we must all do is to have the courage to step out of our history and past so that we can live our dreams. As we leave high school behind, let us strike this balance between our history and our future. Reminiscing on our high school experiences, I think I speak for all of us when I say we have some regrets and have made some mistakes. I remember in 9th grade earning the nickname Judgmental Josh because I would frequently share my rigid opinions on other people's artwork. This regret is forever memorialized in our yearbook. Thanks, Evan. All the drama, regrets, and mistakes, don't put them in the suitcase and carry them with you. Let us only take the lessons they teach us. There is no point in carrying that baggage forever. It will only serve to weigh us down. Our lessons are not the only things we need to take forward. In the words of Rosie Thomas, I will continue my path, but I will keep a memory always. I'll always remember the trips we've taken together from Newport to Washington, D.C. I'll remember the many times I've embarrassed myself in front of you all at school dances, which are too many to count. Then there's Grand March and prom, of which the chocolate cake was probably my favorite part, aside from being with my best friends, of course. And let's not forget this year's pep rally, which we kicked off with the most energetic opener in school history. These memories, and many more, will hold a special place in our hearts. But let us be cautious in packing too many of these memories in our suitcase. We must also leave room for lessons to be learned and memories to come. In the words of my mom, WB Class of 2020, I am so glad we are able to be here together once more. Even with the distance between us, sharing this time together will be a memory I always keep with me. May we keep our sights on the future instead of focused on the past. Like Lyndon B. Johnson said, yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. As we leave, may we pack our suitcases wisely, as our journeys are truly just beginning. I wish you all the best for wherever yours takes you. I am confident we will accomplish great things and have been given all the tools we need to succeed. Tomorrow is ours to win. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Next up is student speaker Maggie McCafferty.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Oakley, Mr. Bodwell, Mrs. Page, members of the school committee, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2020. Have courage and be kind. This is one of my favorite quotes from the live-action film, Cinderella. We all know that in the end, Cinderella gets her happily ever after. but she faced a lot of adversity before she met her Prince Charming. Yet, even with all the trouble she encountered, she met each day with courage and kindness. Now, I'm not here to tell you that life is like a fairy tale, but we can all learn something from Cinderella, especially as our class enters adulthood and begins the next chapter of our lives. Whether we knew it or not, we learned to be patient and always act with kindness starting from day one at the Spring Street School. Every time we switched buildings, we were faced with the challenge of new people, new hallways, and new classrooms. Some of our peers had the added challenge of coming from a different town. Yet we were all graced with a loving faculty and their open arms. When we started 7th grade, we walked the same hall as seniors. And most of our classmen were understanding and helpful because they were in our shoes only 6 years earlier. Due to their guidance, we learned to be as kind and helpful with the current middle schoolers. This continuous cycle of compassion is one of the many reasons we as students are able to take chances and show perseverance, even when faced with unknown situations. The root of perseverance is courage. Now, courage looks different for everyone. Reflecting on our time at West Brdigewater, we have all had to persevere, whether it be in the classroom, on an athletic field, or on a stage. Take a moment to think. Did you challenge yourself and take that honors level course, or did you go see a teacher for help? Did you stand up in front of your class and present a project? Maybe for you, it was learning to drive, or starting your first job. Every courageous act at West Brdigewater was supported by our faculty and their kindness. Without them, we would not be on the stage graduating high school. Next year, we will be starting over, just like we were in 7th grade. Whether you're starting college, joining the workforce, or entering the military, we will once again be the new kids on the block. New mentors and upperclassmen will guide us as we strive for our own goals. We will become more independent. We will stand up for ourselves and our opinions. We will form goals to accomplish and discover our passions. We will face major life changes with courage and resilience, all the while holding true to our values. This spring, people worldwide were faced with a challenging new way of life. Students were to learn virtually, and workers did their jobs from home. Healthcare providers learned to care for people, having new protocols, all the while putting their lives in danger. Essential workers allowed families to get groceries or the occasional takeout. These times brought out the best of people, especially in our community. The parades for healthcare workers, first responders, and graduating seniors were amazing. The cafeteria staff worked every day to feed the students throughout the week, and there were numerous food drives to stock the West Brdigewater food pantry. Although our town had to face this tribulation, we persevered to keep ourselves and our neighbors healthy, and we sustained normalcy for the students. All of this done because of the citizens' courage and kindness. So, to the West Brdigewater School District, on behalf of the class of 2020, we thank you for all of the lessons learned and the happiness that you brought to our lives. Your kindness and guidance helped us become courageous and face the next chapter, no matter what the obstacles are. With that being said, the class of 2020, continue to strive for greatness, because I know that we can achieve it, especially if, like Cinderella, we remember to have courage and be kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. I am so proud to stand in front of these graduates today. And there's even a little bit of a breeze, which is a nice thing for all of us. We knew that eventually this day would come, and we're also happy that we can celebrate with the seniors today. Words cannot describe what a difficult year has been for our students, community, and our nation. It has been especially tough on our seniors, but throughout they have remained positive and persevered. Although they missed out on the traditional senior year, we had opportunities to start new traditions to maintain connections with the class. We enjoyed every opportunity we got to see them and to celebrate with them. This group contains leaders in academics, athletics, extracurricular activities, and within the community. The seniors' hardworking and caring attitude can be attributed to strong family and community support. What makes the West Brdigewater schools so special is that we have an amazing and talented students, a dedicated and hardworking staff, and a caring community that values education. All of you that have helped along the way should be very proud. I'd like to share with you some of the many accomplishments of the class of 2020. 30 members of the class of 2020 were recognized by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts when they received the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. This award is based on the students' outstanding performance on the MCAS exams. Would seniors receiving this award please stand for recognition? Two students received the St. Michael's College Book Award. Would Maggie McCafferty and James Piesco please stand? One student received the Holy Cross Book Award. Would Joshua Poland please stand? Boys and Girls State invites students from Massachusetts who are seen as future leaders to attend a week-long prestigious event with peers from across the state. Would the following students please stand for recognition? Hannah Russo, Emma Radlinsky, Gabriel Levine, and James Piesco. The class of 2020 continued the tradition of the senior projects and did an outstanding job. The projects were rigorous, creative, and incorporated 21st century skills. Would all members of the senior class please stand to be recognized for their participation in the senior projects? The Diversity Club was an active organization giving back to the West Brdigewater school community. Would senior co-presidents Elise Gay and Madison Marquet, senior and all seniors in the Diversity Club, please stand for recognition? Our TV studio is an active and integral part of our academic program. Many students participate in the weekly video club, and every day in the morning news is broadcast live to all the classrooms in the building. Special recognition to Director Hannah Russo, and with all seniors who worked in the TV studio either behind the camera or on camera for the morning news, please stand for recognition. We continue to have highly competitive athletic teams. Would all senior members of an athletic team please stand for recognition? One senior was the MIA Student Ambassador Representative. Would Matthew Lavoie please stand? Many students took part in the Leos Club, affiliated with the West Brdigewater Lions Club. Special recognition to officers Nicole Chula, Jenna Slosher, Amelie Valnegra, and Caroline Nelson. Would all Leo Club members please stand to be recognized? The Powderpuff Fundraiser was once again incredibly fun and successful, raising thousands of dollars for the scholarship fund. Would organizer Grace Flynn and all participants in Powderpuff please stand to be recognized? Our environmental club has helped to address issues both in school and the community. Would all members of the environmental club please stand? This was the 6th year of the Mr. WB contest. Thank you to our senior class, Mrs. Flynn, and the parent volunteers for putting on another amazing event. Congratulations to Mr. WB 2020, Jack Shea, and would all participants in the program please stand to be recognized. The math team had another successful year showing off their math skills and knowledge. Would all senior members please stand? The Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Seminars empowers high school sophomores to develop their leadership talents. Would West Bridgewater Representative Hannah Russo please stand? The Principals and Superintendent's Council met monthly to discuss topics in school. Would all senior members of both councils please stand? Many seniors showed leadership qualities by being selected as an athletic team captain. Would all team captains please stand? The Daughters of the American Revolution Award recipient was Patrick Fluke. Please stand for recognition. Many students excelled in music during their tenure here. They did an outstanding job performing at concerts, parades, and many other events. Would all senior band and chorus members please stand? The Drama Club had another outstanding year. Their time, talent, and energy continues to provide West Bridgewater with an amazing live theater experience. Unfortunately, the spring musical Chicago was not performed, but thank you to all who took part or behind the scenes and on stage. Would all drama members please stand to be recognized? The Student Council helps to maintain a positive school culture in West Bridgewater. The officers were C.J. Ryan, Maggie McCafferty, Megan Willis, and Nicole Chula. Would all members of Student Council please stand? Many seniors participated in our Wildcat Leaders program, mentoring our 7th graders. Would all Wildcat leaders please stand? The editors and staff of the West Bridgewater Climber put in tireless effort to produce an outstanding yearbook. Editors were Caroline Nelson and Maggie McCafferty. Would all yearbook staff members please stand? Many student athletes were selected as Mayflower League All-Stars, Brockton Enterprise All-Scholastic selections, as well as Boston Globe and Herald All-Scholastics this past year. Would all All-Stars and All-Scholastics please stand? The Model United Nations was once again an active organization both in school and attending events outside of school. Senior officers included Augustus Caceres, Sierra Durns, and Nicole Chula. Please stand. The Ski and Board Club was active again this year, skiing often at Wachusett. Would all senior members please stand? One student will be serving our nation, joining the United States Navy. Would Nathaniel Arce please stand to be recognized? The debate team had another outstanding season as they continue to do extremely well in their competitions against other schools. Would all members of the debate team please stand? Two students worked to receive the highest level of scouting, becoming an Eagle Scout. Would Jefferson Roberts and Jacob Eaton please stand? Many athletic teams qualify for the MIA state tournament. Would all athletes who competed in the state tournament please stand? Many teams were champions of their league. Would all members of a championship team please stand? Many students received scholarships at award night. Over $100,000 was given out to our students. Thank you to the Howard Fund, the Donald A. Fisher Citizen Scholarship Foundation, the Class of 2020 Scholarship Fund, as well as additional local scholarships. Would all students who received a scholarship please stand to be recognized? The seniors dedicated the 2020 yearbook to Mrs. Fougier. In the dedication, they thanked her for pushing them to reach their potential and showing the students genuine support and kindness. Please allow me to recognize all of our educators whose tireless efforts do not go unnoticed. We thank all of you for being amazing educators in the district. On behalf of the superintendent, school committee, family, friends, and the class of 2020, would all educators and staff in West Bridgewater please stand to be recognized. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I want to congratulate the class of 2020 on all that they have accomplished. I am truly honored and blessed to have been their principal. Through all that they have been through, they have risen above and have stayed focused. Our hope is that we have prepared you well and gave you the skills and confidence to be successful in the future. There is no doubt that this was a tumultuous year for everyone. As a school community, we continue to look at issues of diversity, inclusion, and equity. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. During these tough times, you are the ones that can make a difference. You are the ones that can choose to lead or choose to follow. We're confident that you have the skills to lead, to make change, and to take action, and to make a difference. The class of 2020 will be remembered for enduring during this difficult time. Although you physically walked out of the school in March, you never left our hearts and minds. Go out and make a difference and continue to make the world a better place. We wish you the best and once again are so proud of this amazing class. Would you all please join me in applauding the class of 2020? Dr. Oakley, I'm honored to present to you the graduating class of 2020. Before we invite you to address the class, we would like to thank you for being here today and for all your years of service to the children of West Bridgewater. You have left your mark on the district, and we thank you for making our school system a model district. We will miss you in West Bridgewater, but you'll always be a Wildcat. And we even have a tower named after you. Dr. Oakley, this class is presented to you with pride in all that they have accomplished.
Thank you, Mr. Bodwell. And welcome all. As the late, great Jerry Garcia is saying, what a long, strange trip it's been. But we made it, and we're here in person. I'm so happy that we could give the class of 2020 a proper graduation and allow you to be together to see your classmates receive their diplomas. A big shout out to everyone that made this happen. In the song Closing Time by Semisonic, one of the lyrics states, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And with everything going on in the world right now, all I can say is, wow, what a beginning the class of 2020 is embarking on. You know, each generation faces a different set of circumstances, economic, political, and social. And your generation is truly at the cusp of a new wave of societal issues and challenges. We're currently in the midst of the biggest global disruption since World War II. And just like that conflict, this pandemic and economic downturn will be, and is already proven to be, a catalyst for what we hope will be many positive changes that will shape the future for generations to come. And you, the members of the class of 2020, are the start of a new generation of Americans that will lead the change that we so desperately need. History shows us that from crisis and challenge comes great opportunity. The aftermath of World War II led to some of the most noteworthy societal changes of the last century. The greatest generation, as they have been called, came out of the Great Depression and World War II, and over the next few decades led future generations of Americans through a turbulent time of change. But these changes didn't happen in a day or even a year. But their their perseverance and persistence overcame many challenges, obstacles, and struggles, and led this country to the biggest economic turnaround in history, the signing of the Civil Rights Acts of 1964 and 65, and spurred the women's rights movements that eventually culminated in Title IX. Today we may take some of these struggles for granted, but if it wasn't for the work of that generation and the ones that followed, I know I, for one, wouldn't be standing here in front of you as a female school superintendent. We've all reaped the benefits of the struggles of the generations that came before us, but we've also become keenly aware that there is still much more progress to be made. Just like World War II, it's no coincidence that this pandemic is revealing many of our societal ills and is sparking movements to overcome this country's social inequities and injustices. But as Albert Einstein stated, in the middle of difficulty, there always lies opportunity. My dad was a member of the class of 1942, the first class to graduate after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, which catapulted the United States into the war, the beginning of the greatest generation. After he passed several years ago, I saved a few of his things, and one of it was his high school yearbook. And in that yearbook is a letter written to his class from his class president. The letter was a call to action to his generation, and although it was written 78 years ago, it's uncanny how it resonates today. I'd like to share a brief excerpt from that letter. We now live in a period which presents a challenge to the youth of this democratic nation of ours. The younger generations are growing up in an era of change. There is a question in the minds of some Americans as to whether the United States can depend on the 21 million boys and girls to carry on and improve upon the present day situation. As a distracted world calls loudly today for leadership, the newspapers and radio have said that the world of today has not prospered of late under the guidance of an older generation. The older generation, therefore, has no alternative but to look to youth, with its undimmed visions and potential power to set it right. Just how will the youth contribute to remedy our national problems? In the end, the issue simplifies itself. This generation is our generation and cannot be anybody else's. The task of youth is not to argue, but to create. Its opportunity is tremendous. As I listened to your class president Isabella's speech and her call to action for change and activism, I was nodding my head in agreement. I believe just that it was the right time for the class of 1942 to lead the greatest generation. The table is now set for the class of 2020 as the first class to graduate during this pandemic to rise up in the face of adversity and lead future generations to a better tomorrow. So although the World War II generation may have been called the greatest generation, I challenge you to become an even greater generation. You may be sitting there thinking, wow, Dr. Oakley, you're really putting a heavy burden on our shoulders, comparing us to the greatest generation, in the shoulders of our whole generation. And I probably am. But I have the utmost confidence that you can do it. Because I've been your superintendent for the last 14 years, and I've witnessed the lessons you've learned and the knowledge and skills that you've developed at the hands of a faculty and staff that are second to none. And the heart of those lessons can be summed up in 2 words: Wildcat pride. I love this term because of its multiple meanings. On the surface, it's what we feel in our hearts about being proud to wear our maroon and white and to be a part of this incredible school, community, and town. But when we delve deeper into its meaning, you find the core values that your administrators and teachers put forward that each letter represents. And that's really where the rubber hits the road. Passion, respect, ingenuity, determination, and empathy. The core values that have been embedded in your educational experiences over the past several years are now, during these unprecedented times, more important to possess than ever before. I believe that integrating these values into your life's journey will give you the strength and confidence to navigate the challenges and obstacles that you will undoubtedly face as you journey through life. First, passion. Oprah Winfrey says passion is energy. It's the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. What's your passion? What really drives you? What do you truly believe in? Find your passion and you'll find your purpose. Don't let anyone sway you from your passion. It's not their choice, it's yours. In the same vein, you must respect other people's passions, talents, ideas, and opinions as well. You don't have to agree with them, but to respect is to listen to others. And in listening, we learn. To lead the way in this new generation, you must continually learn from others, and in order to do so, you must have respect. Ingenuity, we need that more than ever right now. The ability to think creatively about a situation and to solve problems in a clever way. Outside of the box thinking will move this country ahead in ways we cannot yet imagine. Just think about the science world right now. Ingenuity is what's going to create the fastest vaccine in history. I ask that you use your ingenuity, creativity, and talents to be part of the solutions, not the problems. And don't be afraid of failure. Author Brene Brown says that there is no innovation and creativity without failure. And if you practice the next value, determination, then it won't matter how many times you fail, because determination means that you can pick yourself up, wipe yourself off, and start all over again. It's simply persevering towards a goal despite obstacles. Staying focused, especially when times get tough. It's the grit deep down in your belly that allows you to overcome obstacles and triumph when times are hard. You know, triumph is just try with a little extra oomph. Determination is that oomph. Don't ever lose your oomph. As Thomas Edison once stated, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. But the most certain way to succeed is to try just one more time. Lastly, empathy, the most important of all leadership skills. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another within their frame of reference. It sounds a little bit like respect, but empathy goes further. It's making a concerted effort to truly understand and walk in another's shoes without judgment. And it's not always easy to do, because let's face it, this world is filled with judgment. But to truly be an integral part of moving society ahead, we need to understand the plight of others, and that's empathy. In the book Dare to Lead, Brene Brown states, empathy has no script. There is no right way or wrong way to do it. It's simply listening, holding space, withholding judgment, emotionally connecting, and communicating that incredibly healing message of, you're not alone. Right now, this world needs more empathy, because empathy forges human connections. And we are stronger as a nation when we are together as one. Wildcat pride. How we feel in our hearts about our school and community, and our guiding core values. I've been a part of this school system and community since 1987, when most of your parents were still in middle school. What I've learned is that the values embedded in Wildcat pride run deep in the veins of this community, and now it's in yours as well. So class of 2020, I want you to take your Wildcat pride, as I will do, and tuck it in your pocket. Take it wherever your journey leads. And when you're faced with an obstacle, challenge, or struggle, or just need a reminder of how talented, confident, strong, and loved you are, take it out and remember that you were raised on the passion, the respect, the ingenuity, the determination, and the empathy of Wildcat pride. And I'm certain that you will be the next greatest generation. I have to say, I am so unbelievably proud to be a member of the West Brdigewater class of 2020. You will always, always have a special place in my heart. Good luck, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Oakley. At this time, the graduating class will proceed to receive their diplomas. The students will be called up to the stage one by one. They're reminded to carry their diploma with them and to stop for a picture prior to coming up onto the stage. After all the students have been called, they will be asked to stand as the pronouncement of their official status is made.
Daleen Arthur Almeida. Casimir James Ryan. Ellen McCafferty. Isabella Diaz Lamb, President, Class of 2020. James Bradford Piesco, Vice President, Class of 2020. Jack Thomas Shea, Treasurer, Class of 2020. Nicholas Derval Souza, Secretary, Class of 2020. Joshua Raleigh Poland, Academic Leader, Class of 2020. Christina Marie Herman. Noah Ali Al-Khalidi. Anthony Edward Ambrose. Edward Mercott Andrew. Nathaniel Isaac Arcee. Damon William Bailey. Jolie Berkowitz. Jasper Lee Blumenthal. Mary Rose Bajukas. Augustus McConnell Caceres. Shane Michael Callahan. Ali Shareem. Leah Christine Chipatelli. Nicole Mary Chula. Mary Elizabeth Collins. Cameron Ethan Costa. Isaac Lewis Cody. Nolan Andrew Crowley. Taylor Elizabeth Cruikshank. Yep. Gabrielle De Silva. Sierra Hayden Derns. Jack Frazier DeLuca. Robert Nicholas DeVoe. Jacob Peter Diamond. Mary Margaret Drew. Dylan Emerson Dunkley. Katie Elizabeth Dunn. Morgan Rain Duquette. Jacob William Eaton. Sydney Elizabeth Eaton. Jillian Marie Estrella. Would Mr. Flynn please approach the podium? Grace Elizabeth Flynn. Jillian Rose Frechette. Anthony James Frost. Adrian Gabriel. Elise Catherine Gay. Devin Spiro Jorgantis. Alyssa Lynn Gill. Brett William Gormley. Nicola J. Grossman. Sydney Rose Ginden. Matthew Christopher Hatch. Kiara Joan Hodge Barons. Talia Love Houston. Anaya Dana Jordan. Caitlin Rain Caperlian. George Elias Karam. Joey Christine Kennan. Matthew Joseph Kilday. Grace Alexandra LaRosa. Matthew Christopher Lavoy. Kayla Lee Layton. Gabriel Alexander Levine. Cody Alexander Lynn. Kiara Stephanie Luyo. Corey James Mackin. Lauren Ann McNeil. Haley Joan Mater. Joshua Francis Mansfield. Madison Lee Marchetti. Jordan Shea Martin. Mackenzie Allison Martin. Patrick Justin McCabe. Sarah Louise Miller. Lauren Kimberly Miranda. Samira Hashamin Mohan. Hafsa Naeem. Caroline Davis Nelson. Genevieve Anne-Marie Noe. Selena Christine O'Connell. Christopher Gabriel Ortiz. Gabriel Marion Paulding. Cole Ryan Peralt. Evan Joseph Peralt. Patrick Doherty Fluke. Samantha Lynn Potts. Emma Lynn Preston. Emma Grace Redlinski. Jefferson William Roberts. Hannah Grace Russo. Jenna Elaine Marie Schlosser. Jonah William Schlosser. Mary Teresa Sheedy. Rocco Jonathan Silva. Justin Ryan Smith. Matthew Sean Smith. Sandra Marie Smith. Jada, Jaylene, Soares, Montero. Tyler, Robert, Stone. Would Mrs. Sullivan please approach the podium? Oh, she's here, sorry. Ryan Joseph Sullivan. Jessica Marie Veda. Lydia Rose Ventresco. Paul Anthony Vieira. Emily Natanya Vilneg. Megan Ray Willis. Brooke Michelle Winkler. Matthew Robert Wright. John Dwyer Zigiel.
Isabella, to complete your duties as president, please come forward to face your classmates. After the turning of the tassels, we ask that the graduates and families remain in your area until each row is dismissed. We'll be dismissing the families row by row, starting with the first row to my right. We ask you please return to your vehicles and not to congregate in the parking lot area. This time it's my honor and privilege to announce that you've completed all requirements set forth by the state of Massachusetts and the district. Would all seniors please stand? You are now a graduate of West Brdigewater Middle Senior High School, and you may turn your tassels from right to left. And you may throw those hats if you choose. Once again, congratulations to this wonderful class. We want to thank all of our guests for being here tonight. We know it's been a process, but we really want to thank you, and thank you to come to celebrate with our graduates. So once again, congratulations to the class of 2020. We're going to dismiss starting with the front row. So the front row.